All right.
Oh, this is where it
Don't normally do videos like this, but I couldn't help myself. Here's an old homestead from, well, let's go find out how old it is. Okay, as you guys can see, I'll just take a little shot of that. Parker was the fellow's name in 1910, long after he had moved from this spot. So it's likely he probably built this in the 1800s. And when they lived here, the cabin had 3 rooms, all painted with calcimine or whitewash, bright linoleum covered wide plank floors, curtains softened the windows, and the laughter of the Jewett's 4 children rang across the fields. It's my guess they probably had a stream running through here, because these homesteads never were too far from water. Of course, we got the road right here. You can see another one off in the distance, but that's on private property, so we're not going to be able to visit that one. Actually, this is private property too, but they've allowed people to come out here and check this place out. But yeah, it's my guess it was probably a... Actually, look at here, Lisa.
I see it.
I didn't see this last time we were here. So they've tapped a well. Now, this isn't too far from the river.
No, because right across the road they diverted the water.
Yeah, so this was probably like a floodplain, really. I mean, back in the day, I could imagine there was probably a lot more trees than there is now. But what a beautiful spot.
Water.
Yeah, very funny, Lisa. This was built right after your people used to frolic on the plains, Lisa.
Yeah, my people were killing your people.
That's not funny.
They were taking the hair pieces. Lots of hair pieces.
So you could, well, it said it had linoleum floors, but you can clearly see that there are no linoleum floors in there now. Now that's an earthen roof. So
This was the wood shed where they took the kids and beat them every day.
let's walk around back, Lisa.
Okay. I could see how this thing was nice. Huh. It's actually pretty big.
Got cement for chinking, which is probably something they had to do on a regular basis, I would imagine. They probably used sod, pushed sod in between.
These right here, they chinked it with wood. Yeah, on this side.
It's a cool looking roof.
You think they put their garden up there or something? Like herbs and spices and stuff.
Actually, this is probably where the creek ran, huh?
Yep, that's where it,
There's a ditch back there. I don't know if that was dug after the fact or if indeed they had a, look at an old manure spreader or something over there.
okay. There's a cassette down there.
Huh? Yeah,
The
what does it
Winter
say?
and You.
Is it an inspirational tape?
I don't know.
The Importance of Attitude, National Press Publications. Here, Lisa, you take that home and you listen to that and then you report back to me. That might have been their farm out here. Yeah, I didn't see this wellhead last time. I wonder if they drove that well in the ground or if they actually dug it. That's where the old term tapping a well comes from. They used to drive these into the ground. But they might have drilled it. Something similar to an old cable tool, maybe. That's where you hang your bucket. You put your bucket handle right there.
Really?
This is almost the third week of April. It is. What is the date today? I don't even know. Look at this stupid ass snow. It's unbelievable. So these little cabins are just lined up all the way up and down the road. You see them everywhere. And they're all remnants of Montana back in the day. This almost looks like a little livery stable to me. Of course, they do have shingles on it, so maybe it was a house and then they converted it into a barn.
Look at, they got a cellar over
They got a cellar over there, so this most likely was a house. I don't know if you guys can see that way off in the distance there. So it's right on the highway. Huh?
a lid on the water.
Oh, well, I spotted something there. So that might be an old cistern maybe, huh? Or it could just be... Actually, you know what that looks like is a train wheel, Lisa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like a...
I'm looking in here and I'm seeing plaster in there. But the other one didn't have plaster.
You see plaster in there?
See that?
Oh, I do see plaster.
Yeah.
So the in...
Open this gate up, I can run over there and get a phone thing. Okay.
You're gonna get busted. My wife's gonna risk it. She can just claim her people was here before my people.
Okay, so let's go. Here it is. Here's the plaster. Okay. Looks like a bunch of cattle came through here. Looks like this is a door. Entrance. Look at this plaster. That is so cool. There was a chimney. This is so cool. Here's an old door. And this was... Carrie, this one's really cool. Oh, here's some water. Water trough thing over here. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Oh. And then over here is this. Oh, this is really cool. This is so cool. They mounded the dirt up. Hey, that's pretty big. All full of snow. Okay. This is cool. Carrie's all freaked out.
All right. In front of you is the site of the Gallatin City 1865-1880s. After it became obvious that steamboats could not operate economically from Fort Benton to the headwaters, the town was relocated from the north side of the river to this location. Oh, that's right, because the town used to be on the other side. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So we're gonna look at this place right now. This is the place we're gonna check out, and apparently there was these other two buildings too, which we can kind of see the remnants of the one. So let's go check it out. Okay. So this was the original Gallatin City. Well, this was the first one and the second one apparently. And I'll just get down close. You guys can pause the screen and read it if you're interested. And then it has a little caption over here. But apparently, little towns with big dreams in the 1860s. So there's just a tiny little settlement, probably a little church and a couple houses. Here's the 1867 illustration of a hurdy-gurdy house in Virginia City. Captures the flavor of dances in those days. All right, let's go check out the house.
Wow, him.
That's a modern well. Now they've got a fence around this thing. It's somewhat of an old
Saloon, house, hotel, restaurant.
No, it's part of the Gallatin City. It was probably the Chamber of Commerce for all we know. Now those are those other two buildings that we saw. They're obviously located on private property. Looks like somebody's living in an old house over there. It might have been built in the 50s. It's Montana for you. All right, so looks like they're kind of got it reinforced like the other cabin that we looked at, huh? So we're not going to be able to go inside. But what an interesting construction. They've got logs kind of nicely dovetailed. Not a dovetail, but they're interlocked.
See, it's
so the addition has been removed. Built by Jarvis Atkin, the hotel.
Yeah,
you told me. Was originally a one-room building of hand-hewn logs. It was the center of Gallatin City's social life. Travelers sometimes complained of not being able to sleep because of the ruckus. As the town died, the hotel was turned into a barn. Later, sections of it were torn down and carted away to be used elsewhere. So
let's walk around it.
Yeah. Don't go beyond this sign.
Carrie, I could go behind that sign. I quit.
We don't need to. We could see it all right here. Look at they got a Boy Scout symbol there. So the Boy Scouts had something to do with this.
Is that for bats?
Is that what that is?
I don't know.
Of course, this probably had like a wooden floor in there. I mean, it was nice probably in the day.
Dancing, hooping and hollering, and
I wonder what they considered ruckus back in the day.
I don't know. But
well, at any rate, that 4x4 is not holding anything. It looks like the rafters were purposely laid down on top. You see how we just see the tails of them, but that used to have like a peaked roof, a gable roof. But yeah, that's what's left of the trusses. Huh, and it had some kind of shiplap siding put on there at one time. I wonder if these 2x4s were added later as a reinforcement. Probably, huh? Because originally I'll bet it was just the hewn logs, which would have been sufficient, because it looks like I got a good many of them coming all the way across to strengthen the structure enough. Alright, so here's the grand finale. This old house, there's a lot of stories connected with it, and I don't know how many of them are true, but the story I heard was this was an old boarding house that was used to house the workers in the 20s. And it seems logical because it's an awfully big place. We're gonna go inside here in just a second. But it's all made from boards and bad. It was probably a nice, pretty nice little house at one time. Got this old flat. That's heavy, heavy tin. And of course the usual, this one fireplace. Chimney I see. Let's see if we can keep from putting our feet to the floor. Yeah, quite a wreck in here. All lath and plaster. It's probably pretty nice in the day. There's that chimney coming down there. And you know, something's happened since the last time I've been here. This chimney here has fallen. This was not like this previous times I've been in here. But anyways, that's where that chimney would have gone, right there. The old wood supporting it just got rotten. Yeah. Kinds of remnants of, looks like some beds and some couches. Pretty neat stuff. What was the story on this house, Lisa?
I don't know.
Did somebody say this was an old boarding house?
Oh, it could have been. You know, I filmed earlier, and there was a orphanage somewhere around here. Look at this, looks like a child mattress.
I know. Yeah, and then I wonder what these were over here. They were like this bench. It was built all the way across here. Just seems kind of curious. Like it's a
kitchen.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nuts and bolts over here. Old fuse. Nice big window. There was the old fuse box there, so this place had power at one time. Here's a remnant of an old light bulb. There's the sole of a foot. And what's this? This is called
Pompeii. No, I'm just kidding.
Coffee sale. There's got some old box sets. There's a sole off of an old shoe. There's the heel. I don't know if you can see that or not. Old paint cans. Interesting. Just a lot of sediment come through here over the years. An old newspaper. Yeah. See if we can find a date. Did we ever find a date on these newspapers?
We did at one time.
At one time, and it's been somewhat dilapidated since. This place is going downhill fast. Yeah, can't seem to find a date. Nothing quick, handy. See any other little artifacts? There's an old shoe.
Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of bed springs. This is the green room.
It was all green at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was probably a really nice house at one time, I'm sure.
And this had the fireplace, which is still there. I mean, if that ever came down. Ooh.
Oh, I think the other one did come down since the last time I was here.
Oh, yeah. then this is the pink room.
Ooh, that's a beautiful color pink, huh?
Look at this. Look at the natural patina on these boards.
That's actually kind of cool.
It is.
People could pay money for that stuff, huh?
Do this one.
Huh?
Do this one. The bottom part.
Oh, yeah. Crackle paint. I mean, there's a lot of little rooms in here. That's 1, 2, 3.
We just went in out one.
Yeah, so it's a 3-bedroom, and then this. What would this be considered?
4.
Oh, little couch.
Entrance of some sort.
I bet this place was probably lived in not that long ago. I bet it was probably inhabitable probably 30 years ago.
That's a long time ago, okay?
Yep. All right, and then this is just one big open room. It's just curious how big this thing is. I wonder what this was for, because it looks almost like, of course, wouldn't be complete without a mudroom.
There's a chicken coop over there. Want to check it out?
Let's go check out the chicken coop. Quite the view in the day, but that one year we came up here, there was big blocks of ice out in the middle of that road. So this is all floodplain. The Missouri River is right there, and it'll get backed up with ice, and it'll bring ice flow all the way up into these areas here. We saw big chunks of ice, big blocks of ice the size of automobiles and bigger, just laying everywhere out in these fields. An old stable, horse stable. Yep. Old places have been picked through by people. There's probably not a whole lot of things left. I guess you could probably put a metal detector on the ground and find a bunch of old barbed wire. That'd be about it. Lisa seems to think this might have been the old outhouse. I'm kind of inclined to maybe agree with her, because looks like there was a roof there. I mean, this could just be a rubbish pile too, but maybe there is an outhouse underneath there.
They put that tin down right there.
Maybe they cover up the hole so nobody falls in it. Yeah, maybe so. Little cottonwoods are going to be the demise of this thing, I'm afraid. These fishing accesses here in Montana are just top notch. They're just all so pristine and beautiful. We got a little boat ramp here. Launch a boat right into the Missouri. And then this Missouri, it goes down to the Townsend, or the Toston. Yeah, the Toston Dam. If you were to follow that river down about a couple miles, which if you drove to it, it would take probably 30-40 miles to get to it. So you have to go clear around.